Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. Back to do more of our top 6 fan favorite episodes of The Expanse leading up to season 4. We're on number 4, and we're talking about season 2's 5th episode. It's called Home, which originally I reviewed these 3, 4, and 5. I actually went back and watched that old review, 200 views on it. 200 views, pretty good for a video of mine. And watching that, it just really makes me feel like, look how far we've come. Uh, and I say we because we're in this together. And watching those videos, yeah, I'm standing up. I still wish I stood up more. Um, Rather than sitting, I feel like, I don't know. I miss that. I miss that kind of like energy. I still have it. I'm just sitting down now. I don't know what that says, but I had to rewatch that because I dropped myself in the middle again as usual, and I knew what was happening, but I needed to go back and get a few bits of context to how everything happened and in the direction we were headed. But this is Miller's Last Stand. This is the big kind of closing of the first book that we have here, and it's masterful and beautiful and tragic and just so intense. So many things happening. This was when I was watching the review, when I was my old review talking about the clock that I had started with Miller, and I don't know why. All right, that's better. How can I not be wearing the Miller shirt in his kind of, last episode as human Miller, full-on human Miller. So, yeah, Thomas Jane had really, he was what drew me to this show initially, to be all completely honest. I was never really into sci-fi stuff that heavy. I like everything just about. I'll give most things a chance. But I came because of Thomas Jane. And his character and his arc and how it kind of ends here, not, partially, just really, like, there's people out there that don't like Thomas Jane, and I have no fucking idea why. He is one of the best actors around. He should be getting so much work. I don't think I've ever seen him give a bad performance in anything. And just with Miller here, this is his iconic television role. He's been in icons in movies. He's been in iconic movies. He was really good as the Punisher, and he was so heartbreaking in The Mist. Not to mention like movies like Stander. I liked him. Okay, Dreamcatcher is a movie, but I liked him in that movie. He was in that movie, wasn't he? Yeah. Yeah, he was. I'm trying to list the actors off in my head. But he's just really fantastic, and this episode has one of the most iconic moments, single shots, basically, of TV history. It should go down as one of the biggest moments of all time, in my opinion. Someday when more and more people finally find this show and get off their asses and stop licking the taint of Star Trek, which is to me just like, the more I hear about what's going on with Star Trek, I'm like, how is The Expanse not, more iconic at this point? Why are people looking forward more to The Expanse than with Star Trek? I know Star Trek's got all that history and everything, but, jump on this train, everybody. Ever since I started doing these again, too, I feel like kind of an energized me where I'm back to being like, hey, fuck it. So awesome. Um, Also, I was gonna put the score of The Expanse on the intro. I like to put new music and stuff, fitting music over my intros. I got blocked with the announcement video. I played like 5 seconds of the 5 or so seconds of the maybe 10 of the intro theme song to the Expanse, and my video got blocked. So I had to re-edit like that video and the video for the first episode we were doing of this. So that's why the music is not the Expanse music, because I downloaded it and everything. I figured out how to put it in. So anyway, getting to the episode, I realize I've been talking for a few minutes now, but I'm trying to be like I'm trying to be a reviewer. Like I'm watching some of my stuff and thinking about some of my stuff and how I review. And I sometimes feel like I'm just recapping a lot, and I am recapping and bringing my own personal touch to it. But I mean, this is a fantastic episode of television. This solidifies it as one of the most well-written shows. The special effects are unbelievable, as you can see behind me. This is taking a little, like, they don't have, like, Game of Thrones money, but they really make you feel like you're there. A lot of shows, like, with this kind of reach, or this kind of ambition, can't always pull off what it's trying to show us, and how big a scope they're trying to show us, how big this story is and how big the universe is. And this show does it in every possible way. Acting, writing, sets, costumes, the score, the pacing, every single thing. So this is like the reviewer part of it, is why this show should be watched by everyone. So let's talk about this episode. Let's get to it, because this is one of the best episodes of all time. This might be the best episode of all time in my opinion, but I have to keep watching. And when I rewatch this, but this one is way the fuck up there for me. So I started with Avasarala back on the roof, and I went, wait, deja vu, like, what's going on? Wait, I was just doing an episode where she was on the roof. I realized that the episode, when I clicked on it, it started at the end where I left off the last time I was watching this. And so I'm like going, wow, why is everybody doing all this weird, like, montage stuff right at the beginning of the episode? And I realized that at that point I have to go back and restart the episode. So we begin with Miller and the nuke sitting there. Arrow's changing direction, moving fast on its own, and everybody freaking out. Earth is blaming Mars. I always find it weird that we just don't see that much more of Mars. It's always Mars is such a mystery. Mars is such a mystery. I mean, we get more of Mars later on, but they always talk about them like, we never hardly see anybody talking to us from Mars. It's always like, yeah, we just got off the phone with them and they told us to go screw, that kind of thing. The protomolecule, though, is causing Eros to break all the rules. Basically, physics don't mean a thing. It's changing all the rules. It's an alien life form. It doesn't just necessarily follow what we haven't experienced anything like what this thing can do. And poor Miller, with the brave face he's putting on, as it's, we find out that there's a collision course with Earth, and Miller just being like he knows. Yeah, there's always going to be a part of anybody to be like, well, maybe I'll be saved. Maybe they'll come and get me. Maybe there's some way out of this. But the realist in him knows that for them, he kind of has to say these things about rescue and don't give up on me. But, he wants to be rescued, but I honestly feel like he knows this whole time that he's not gonna get out of this. I mean, you're strapped to a nuke that you have to hit the button on every, frickin' few seconds, and that would drive me crazy. Him dragging this along, just hearing that beep, that reminder of how close you are to death. Now, granted, you'd be taking the whole station with you, and to be honest, that's a very Doctor Strangelove kind of thing. Slim Pickens or whatever? I can't remember who that guy is, but the guy who jumps, falls out with the nuclear bomb or strapped to the A-bomb, going, yeehaw! I feel like Miller is this generation's version of that, where he's just gonna, if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna take this whole fucking thing with me. So, Aaron Wright his little spat with Mao over the phone. Like, Mao's not even reachable. He's having to yell at Mao over the phone like, hey man, Earth is my planet, man, and if you've got, anything going on, like, you need to get your fucking science experiment under control. And we have no idea, like all the things that we know now, what Mao's really doing during all this shit. Man, some bad people. Um, so, they decide that if Muller's like, if I can get inside to the center of this thing where the heat signature is, I can blow up the thing that killed Julie. And that's the best bad idea he's heard all day. I like that. I like that. It's a glass half full kind of, nuke half full kind of situation. Um, and Earth, in the meantime, they prepare to basically fire all the missiles that they can at it and then fire even more to sterilize wherever it hits. Because it's pretty much, they all think we're all doomed, which, this is a very much, this is the Armageddon, this is the deep impact, asteroid coming to hit Earth, dinosaur extinction level event, which is huge. Huge. Like, think about where this story started in season 1 and how in the middle of season 2, this is where we've come to. So, like, 15 episodes, that's a lot of story to, like, that's epic. This is epic television. And it got canceled after 3 seasons because people weren't watching it. Fucking. So, the question of how to save Miller and themselves has to be asked. They ask it. They finally say, like, what are the odds here? And it's not good. It's not going to happen. It's the, and Miller's starting to hear Julie and the echoes. And like I said, the bird, okay? That bird, oh man. Because there's some stuff I know I didn't say for the first time around. So I'm hoping that you guys are appreciating that this review is kind of different from the last time we talked about this episode. So the nukes get fired. Johnson and Drummer are looking at it, and Kara G. Oh my God, I've said it before. I love her. I love her. Okay, love's a strong thing to say, but I am very attracted to Kara G. I'm sorry, just am. And that accent that she uses, Eros reacting to the nukes being fired and going stealth is genius. When Johnson goes back to try to talk to the scientist, and he's just like, why would you want to stop it? So he tells Earth that they can go ahead and point, if he can paint Eros with the guidance system, and then Holden says, look, he backs him up. He's a good guy. Let me get in there, and you guys can paint the target that way. We can fire the missiles at it. And so they take a fast 15G burst where everyone is evacing then on Earth. Abbott Sarala has her goodbye with her husband. And I wanted to bring up Brian George, the character actor who plays her husband. He has not had much to do in this show, but in this scene he gives her so much so that the actress, I forget her name, has such a great moment with him, saying goodbye and being that stick-to-itness of just sticking around, and how, if I left you wouldn't feel, the same about me. You wouldn't be able to respect me. Great scene between these two. So Miller figures out that the hot zone is leading him to Julie, which we were seeing right here. I purposely fast forwarded so we would be able to see this part in the review. But he's saying that what about her consciousness? What if this thing has been like reconstituting? It's taken us all the way back to Julie. What if it infected her and then she infected it, and now her consciousness is driving this whole thing, like she's on her Razorback, like she keeps saying. And this all, like, depends, like all of this, it's all up to Miller. It all rides on Miller, the guy who never wanted this, and it's up to, if he's right, then he saves everybody. he can save everybody by getting to Julie, who has become something else, part of this thing, and her and everybody. So in the end, he turns out to really be this great detective that I'm just like Batman would be proud, like figuring all this stuff out. Some guy with a nuke strapped to him that is able to get this all done. I do like when Holden's like, "You want to negotiate with some girl who thinks she's a space station?" And I'm saying it like that because he's got the juice flowing through him. So he finally finds her as we're talking here, we know. And I've been having a flip. I was running out of paper. I've been running out of paper and using the back sides now of my notepad. So he gets to her, and this is just, I wish I could just play the audio. Where, she's like, "Where am I?" And he's like, "Eros, it's kind of a step up, to where you were before. And I'm Miller. I was supposed to find you." And, he tells her, like, "Look, well, why don't we, you can steer this thing. Let's take this thing to Venus." And he gives her, like, the nuke to hold on to for him. And it's just such a beautiful moment. Because and let's click up on here so I can see her. Dang it, they don't have her name on here. Florence, I believe her name is Florence. She didn't get that much to do. So much of this story rides on her backstory, and with episode 9 of the last episode we reviewed, but 9 from the first season, we got to see the most that we really ever got from her, and now she's here, and all this, like, you still feel like you've known her. And for that kind of impact of a character who really hasn't had hardly any screen time to be felt is amazing. It really, really is. And again, testament to the writing and the book and adapting the book right and just having the courage to do it right. Because I feel like I have only partially read the first book. I bought it, I started to read it, but life gets in the way. But what I was reading, man, I was like, oh my God, I'm like watching the show. But in a good way, where enough is added to like where I can fill in gaps on things and get more out of the world. It was just amazing what she got to do here. And again, it's like still showing that, whatever. So this reminds me of Julie seeing Miller. Well, he tells her whatever, you can steer the ship. Whatever happens, you're not going to do it alone. Because she was bringing up, like, they left me here. They left me here alone. And he's saying that he's never going to leave her alone. I'm getting a little choked up here. Fuck. But this reminds me of Julie seeing Miller come to her with the bird as she died. Like the proto-molecule was showing her and was able to see, like, all of this coming around somehow. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, because I mentioned that in one of the reviews. Like, how did she see him when he wasn't there and she never saw him before, and the bird and all that? We saw the bird just then, and it's almost like was it showing her kind of a vision of who was going to be there for her in this greatest moment of their lives? So I don't know if anybody else thinks that way about this, but this shot right here, where Miller takes his suit off and he says, maybe we die or maybe we don't. That'll be interesting. But this is the shot I'm talking about. These two people with the nuclear bomb across and hugging, and that kiss, that earned kiss, that embrace is just one of the most awesome things I have ever seen and earned in a show in my entire fucking life. And, where she says, "You belong with me." Yeah. So we go back full circle to me at the beginning of the episode talking about Avasarala on the roof and them toasting Miller. Holden, and his butting heads and all that. It's all forgiven because, in the end, they all know what he did. And even though the fight is just beginning, they don't have a lot of time to breathe, but Miller saved the world. Miller saved the galaxy. Or at least, kept it from getting worse at this moment. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing television. And, fuck, man. Boom. Goes the dynamite. And that's the end of this episode. Freaking amazing. And so, if you liked this review, this look back on episode 5 of season 2, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Share, like I said, and if you are liking the content, become a subscriber. You can find me on Twitter at reviews_gun. If you feel like donating to the channel, you can do it at paypal.me/smirkinggunreviews. Or you can visit the Patreon page under Smirking Gun Reviews. Otherwise, everybody go take a shot for Miller. Pour a little on the concrete, whatever. And we'll see you on number 3 of our top 6 fan favorite episodes of The Expanse coming up tomorrow. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.